Hi everyone, welcome back to Islamic Unboxed. Today I want to talk about Nupur Sharma. She was a spokesperson from BJP, a ruling party in India. Well, she's fired now. I know this news has been over a week ago, right? Or 6 days, something like that, about a week ago. Should be an old news. But the reason I'm doing this video because it turns out it's still going on. The protest still going on. The protest by the Muslims in Pakistan, Bangladesh, and India are still going on. So now, Al Jazeera was talking about how Muslim properties demolished over anti-Islamophobic protest. As you can see here, anti-Islamophobic protest. And this one from just 9 hours ago. New Delhi protests over demolitions of Muslim homes. So now, just to remind everyone and for those who do not know what was going on, so Nupur Sharma, as I stated, she was a spokesperson for BJP, the ruling party in India. The Muslim protesting against because of her remarks about Prophet Muhammad marrying a 6 years old. Now the Muslims get mad and they say it's blasphemy. It's Islamophobe, and so on. Now, before I continue, I want you, whoever listen to this, to know where I stand. I do not really like BJP myself because they're not doing anything for the Christians. They just talk. The country is, there are Sikh and then there are Christians, Muslims need to be protected, should have the same right, but they never have the same right because the Hindu far right are protected by the government, by BJP. So I do not like BJP myself. But the reason I'm doing this because I do believe Nupur Sharma was saying the truth. She was not lying. If she was lying, I wouldn't do this video. Right? Now, I want to bring you a video from maybe a few months ago. This video was by Muhammad Hijab. First, I want you to listen to what he said on this YouTube video. What he said about child marriage. This video just from 4 months ago, I think. Let us watch.
If you look just at the Quran, you will get the indication that you can have sexual intercourse with a 5-year-old. The reason why it's haram to have sexual intercourse with a 5-year-old is not found in the Quran at all. If you just read the Quran, it is halal, it would be halal to have sexual intercourse with a 5-year-old. In Surah Al-Talaq, chapter 65, verse 4, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us who you can divorce and who you cannot divorce. And then he says, وَاللَّائِ لَمْ يَحِدْنَ. وَاللَّائِ لَمْ يَحِدْنَ. And the ones who had never been pubescent before. And by the way, this is very important, yeah? I want all Muslims to be aware of this. The reason why we don't have sexual intercourse with 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds or whatever is not because of puberty. Wait a minute, what did you say? It's not because of puberty, because that verse in the Quran actually says lam yahid. They never had puberty before. You can't go around that. The Quran doesn't say anywhere in the Quran that the woman has to be pubescent. I dare you to find one verse in the Quran where it says you're not allowed to marry someone based on harm, or you're not allowed to have sexual intercourse based on harm, or you're not allowed to marry someone based on puberty. So if you're on Quran alone, you're allowed to...
I will stop there. So you can hear what he said. So there's nothing in Quran that says you cannot marry a young girl who have not menstruated yet. And he was mentioning Surah Al-Talaq, verse 4. Let us read Surah Al-Talaq, verse 4. All right, it's coming. Let me enlarge. As you can see, chapter 65, verse 4. As for your women past the age of menstruation, in case you do not know, their waiting period is 3 months. And those who have not menstruated as well. As for those who are pregnant, their waiting period ends with delivery. And whoever is mindful of Allah, He will make their matters easy for them. So now, as you can see, and those who have not menstruated as well. Again, this is very simple words, a simple sentence. You can translate it into any language you want without problem. Even Google Translate can do it. This is Surah At-Talaq, verse 4. So even if you marry a younger who have not menstruated, the waiting period is 3 months, right? So sometimes you marry in those days. Normally, people who are Christians, who are Jews, who are pagans, they marry people or a girl who have menstruated. But in Islam, you do not have to be menstruated. Even if you have not menstruated, you can get married. Now this, of course, fundamentally wrong, even from the biology understanding, right? If I used to take a biology class when I was in high school, so I know usually when a girl menstruating, they have this some kind of like enzyme come out in their vagina to make the sex easier. But if they have not menstruated, normally the vagina is dry, so it's very it's hurting for them, right? For the girl. But this so funny how Allah, who's supposed to know everything, does not know this. Now let me go back to the topic. Nupur Sharma. She was debating with a Muslim on national television in India, and she mentions the marriage between Muhammad and Aisha, who was 6 years at the time. She did not say anything wrong. I made this video a while back, but now it turns out I have to do it again. So now I will show Sahih al-Bukhari. Because, one more thing. A couple of Muslims at work, they asked my opinion. And then the same thing as I just said to you today. I do not like BJP, but Nupur Sharma did not say anything wrong. She was just telling as it is. I don't know which part is which one is anti-Islamophobia. You know, I don't see the part of the blasphemy part. I don't see anything like that. So I don't know why people protesting. Now I want to show you Sahih al-Bukhari. Hadith number 5134. Narrated Aisha that the Prophet married her when she was 6 years old, and he consummated his marriage when she was 9 years old. Hisham said, I have been informed that Aisha remained with the Prophet for 9 years, till his death. So the Prophet Muhammad died when he was 62, and had sex with her when he was 53. So that's why it says 9 years And this is correct. This hadith is correct. Another one, another Al-Bukhari. Narrated Urwa. The Prophet asked Abu Bakr for Aisha's hand in marriage. Abu Bakr said, "But I am your brother." The Prophet said, "You are my brother in Allah's religion and His book. But she is lawful for me to marry." So it's not like Muhammad did not know how old Aisha is. And this despite Abu Bakr had another daughter who's 10 years older than Aisha. Her name is Asma. Asma bin Abu Bakr. Asma bin Abu Bakr was not married yet at the time. I don't know why Muhammad didn't go for Asma. Maybe she's too old, I don't know. Anyway, I bring so many hadith, just more than usual, just to prove it. Another Bukhari. This hadith Bukhari, Sahih al-Bukhari 5079, narrated Jabir ibn Abdullah. While we were returning from Gaza with the Prophet, I started driving my camel fast. As it was a lazy camel, a rider came behind me and pricked my camel with a spear he had with him. Then my camel started running as fast as the best camel you may see. Behold, the rider was the Prophet himself. He said, "What makes you in such a hurry?" I replied, "I'm newly married." He said, "Did you marry a virgin or a matron?" I replied, "A matron." He said, "Why didn't you marry a young girl so you may play with her and she with you?" When we were about to enter Medina, the Prophet said, "Wait, so that you may enter at night, so that the lady of unkempt hair may comb her hair, and the one whose husband has been absent may shave her pubic region." So that's what. So this is the Prophet saying this, right? And this Sahih al-Bukhari, number 5079. Let us keep reading. Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith number 6130, narrated Aisha. I used to play with dolls in the presence of the Prophet, and my girlfriends also used to play with me. When Allah's messenger used to enter my dwelling place, they used to hide themselves, but the Prophet would call them to join and play with me. Now, in bracket, the playing with the dolls and similar images is forbidden, but it was allowed for Aisha at the time, as she was a little girl, not yet reached the age of puberty. Let's go with Sahih Muslim. Next. All right. Aisha reported, Allah's messenger married me when I was 6 years old, and I was admitted to his house at the age of 9. She further said, we went to Medina and I had an attack of fever for a month, and my hair had come down to earlobes. Ruman came to me and I was at the time on a swing along with my playmates. She called me loudly and I went to her, and I did not know what she had wanted of me. She took hold of my hand and took me to the door, and I was saying, "Ha ha," as I was gasping, until the agitation of my heart was over. She took me to a house where had gathered the women of the Ansar. They all blessed me and wished me good luck and said, "May you have share in good." My mother entrusted me to them. They washed my head and embellished me, and nothing frightened me. Allah's messenger came there in the morning, and I was entrusted to him. So, there you go, another one. This according to Aisha herself. Another Al-Bukhari actually. This one is a little long, but I want to show you a small piece actually. Let me look for it, because the hadith is very long. Please bear it with me. All right, hold on. All right, here you go. I want to start from here. From here. That night. So I will start from here, the reading. That night I kept on weeping the whole night till morning. My tears never stopped, nor did I sleep. And morning broke while I was still weeping. Allah's messenger called Ali ibn Talib and Usama bin Zaid when the divine inspiration delayed in order to consult them as to the idea of divorcing his wife, i.e., herself, actually. Usama bin Zaid told Allah's messenger of what he knew about the innocence of his wife and of his affection he kept for her. He said, "Oh Allah's messenger, she's your wife. We do not know anything about her except good." But Ali ibn Talib said, "Oh Allah's messenger, Allah does not impose restriction on you, and there are plenty of women other than her. If you, however, ask slave girl, she will tell you the truth." Aisha added, "So Allah's messenger called for Barira and said, 'Oh Barira,' this is the slave girl, 'did you ever see anything which might have aroused your suspicion as regards Aisha?' Barira said, 'By Allah, who has sent you with the truth, I have never seen anything regarding Aisha which I would blame her, except for that she's a girl of immature age who sometimes sleeps and leaves the door of her family unprotected, so that the domestic goats come and eat it.'" There you go. So the slave woman or the slave girl said, "Aisha is a girl of immature age who sometimes sleeps." So, meaning she's not taking her responsibility seriously yet at the time. She was supposed to make something and then she fell asleep and then the goat come in and eat the food. That's all. Now, Sunan Abu Dawud, same thing. Narrated Aisha, the messenger of Allah, Sunan Abu Dawud, hadith number 2121. The messenger of Allah married me when I was 7 years old. The narrator Sulaiman said, or 6 years. He had intercourse with me when I was 9 years old. There you go. And by the way, I don't think I mentioned the hadith number earlier. This Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith number 4750. Now, this one is Sunan Abu Dawud, hadith number 2121. So, we have seen the proofs ourselves from hadith. These their books. This all Sahih hadith. Sahih means authentic. There are Muslims today, like Muslims at work. Oh, maybe the hadith not authentic. The hadith is authentic. Just you don't know. And they do actually admit they never heard it. They didn't even know Aisha was 6 years old until I mentioned it like about a while back, like maybe a year and a half ago, something like that. So they were surprised themselves. So many Muslims are surprised, right? So many Muslims don't know Aisha was 6 and Muhammad was 50 at the time. Now, looking at this, I'm sure you agree with me that Nupur Sharma did not say anything out of context. that Nupur Sharma didn't tell any lie. She did not make up any story. She was saying what it says in Hadith. That's all she did. And Muslims protesting against it, against her. Why? If you are protesting against what she said, then you are against Hadith. And this is what I know about Sunni. I don't know if you're a Shia, right? But if you're a Sunni or Ahlul Sunnah wa al Jamaah, that's what they call Sunni, the real name for Sunni. If you do not believe in Hadith, actually you're a kufr. You must believe in Hadith, especially the Shahih Hadith. If you go to any mosque, you a Sunni mosque, you ask the Imam or Sheikh or the Maulana, if I don't believe in Hadith, am I still a Muslim? They will tell you, no, you're not a Muslim. You must believe in Hadith. Because any learned Muslims, any learned Muslim know to be a Muslim, to understand Islam, is to know that Islam stands on three things: Quran, Hadith, and Sirat Rasul. And if a Muslim does not understand this, then I don't think the person can call him or herself Muslim. And however, I do not condone the demolition of a house. That's what I do not condone. The Israeli, they do demolish houses in West Bank or in Gaza when these people, Hamas, attacking them with rockets. That's different. They destroy houses too. So that's why the Israeli government sent soldiers to destroy their houses in the same way, right? But this, over protest, you demolish their houses. I don't think it's just. It is, although, so in one way, Nupur Sharma is not guilty. But in another way, BJP or India must stop demolishing houses. And that's all from me. Thank you very much for listening. For those who are Muslim, for those who are Hindu, God bless you all. And for you who are Christians, pray for our brothers and sisters who are Hindus and Muslims in India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. May God reside in them and stay in their hearts so they might be in peace, live in peace, and stop all these protests and demolitions. Thank you very much for listening again. God bless you all. Have a nice life.